Hello. Hello. Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. So let's just start it. So Deepa, you have question. Can you explain, convert, and format functions of it? Sure. Let me do that. Okay. So yeah, before I start, so were you all able to work on that case study that I shared? Or did you get a chance to make that entire database and then finally do some data analysis on that? Any questions if you have on it?
It is to create the entire database and its tables and to build the relationship, right? Basically, RDBMS.
That database, and on top of that then all that data that you had, so you have to by yourself you have to come up with write the queries to come
Uh,
with some data analysis, like what kind of the costing is going, what how much amount of money is spending uh, with the suppliers, then same way. So they were like you had to actually go through that entire data, right? Like we were writing the queries by ourselves. That in the earlier exercises, the question was given to you, right? Like which department has the highest budget or which department has the lowest budget. But over here, you had to go through that and come up with the outputs by writing the query yourself, right? Like how many suppliers do they have, and for how long that company has been working. So there's similar that those questions. So were you able to create some questions on that or some analysis?
no, the queries is pending actually. I have just created the database tables. I have created the relationships among them. The queries I need to concentrate next.
Okay. So try to write some of those queries as well, right? So that will actually give you more idea, because what happened is the reason that I gave you that the case study was because many of the companies, what they do is they will just send you that kind of a data and they will be sending you just the problem statement. So they won't be sending you the questionnaires and in that write a query to make a join or write a query to group the data, or uh, find the differences between the dates and all. So if you want, I can, I have the set of queries with me which can be written, which can give you a complete walkthrough of that data, what the things are happening in that business. So but I just wanted that if you could write it by yourself once.
Amit, I have a question. Can we import data after creating a table? If I
Now,
create a table,
also,
then can I import the Excel sheet into the table?
yes, we did know that in the sample super store file that we did. So we imported the data from that the Excel only. So what you do is once you create the table,
Yeah,
right? So
but the columns the columns are not in the order of the Excel sheet.
Yeah, even I observed that. I was also thinking in the same manner she was asking. Previously, we have just imported the orders table just like that. Here, we have created the tables as well as the database. So, how do we match and how do we import that particular data from Excel into our own created tables?
just let me show you that.
I tried to create import the data, but the columns order is not same as the order of my created table. So it's not allowing me to map the columns from the Excel to the into the my table columns. It's giving the same column ID, or it's giving the option as ignore.
See, what we do is basically you import the data. Then what we do is based on that, the data that was given to you, you have to convert the columns into the primary keys and the foreign keys over there. So that was the point that you had to work on. So you see there are two ways. One is you import the data and then you alter the data in order to assign which column do you want to keep it as a foreign key, which column do you want to keep it as a primary, right? And I think the main crux that was there, it was lying in that only, that you had to assign the primary key foreign key relationships among the different tables that you have. So I'll show you both the things how we do it. Okay. Then what we do is over here, so let me tell you, let's talk about the convert function. Okay, so if you talk about convert function over here that we have in SQL, see, convert is a function that we use that sometimes it happens that the data that you have loaded in the tables, the data type of that column is different, right? The data type is different over there. And you want to apply some, you want to convert that or show that output into some different format. So that is where the convert function is used. Like for example, if I am using this database over here, that is database. Okay. So for example, if I have a column of this, the sales, right? So now sale is something that is coming in a decimal format over here. So what you do is, suppose you want that select star, comma, and what you want to do is you want to convert the value into a different data type. So what we do is we use convert function over there. You will simply say convert, right? And then what you do is you want to convert it into an integer, and then you give the name of that column over here. So this is where we use the convert function. So what you do is you select any column and you give that new data type, what you want to use it for. So if you now run this, so you see now what has happened over here is I have my sales column is same, and it is by default is a floating, right? Because we have a decimal part into it. But I've done now what is I've just extracted the integer part out of this data. So I have mentioned that what data type I want, and then I have mentioned the name of the column. So it has converted that column into the integer format. So we are using it over here just for the purpose of the select query, right? So we have not permanently converted something into an integer. It is just for this part of the query that we have converted this data into integer format. Similarly, if you want to convert it into var, char, or character something, you can do that as well. Suppose you say you want to convert this data into the char of size 5, right? So what will happen in that case is it converts the data into, we won't be able to convert this into var, char. I mean, just the size is too small. Let's keep it as the size as maybe 10, a bigger size, because the data is big, right? So you see now this data which we had over here has now been converted into character type. So this is what we use it for. Sometimes what will happen is that you might get some data which was numbers and it got converted into the form of a character. So maybe you required some, the maybe you have to do some sum by any chance on that data. So you can simply use convert function and convert it into the desired format that you want.
Amit, can you just the convert function for the date, because I need to, because that I'm getting an error from the text format. I mean, from the varchar format, how can I convert that to the date?
So for that, let me just pick it up. So what I can do over here is, suppose you have uh, let me apply a date time format just to show. Suppose you have a date with you which is in this format. Now this is character format that I have. So 0101. So I'm writing a date over here. So now if you see, this is a normal date. Now what I do is I convert into a date time. So I get a date time format of this. Right. So this date time format has been applied onto this character data that you have right now over here. Yep.
Okay, I was just simply giving the date and I got the same output. I need to try this. Okay.
So if you have the date format, so you use date also, you have it. So you put this date format over here. Okay. See, basically, we also use this function a lot. Basically, when it comes to using this, date, the convert function, typically it is something you will be using it more for the purpose. Suppose I say this is you had some date with you. Okay, for the output perspective, what you wanted to showcase that date into some another format. So what we do is we simply say date, and this is suppose let me use this column over here. I have select and I write convert over here, and I'll use the column of order date. I'll use the column of order date from orders, and what I'll do is, sorry, I'll say I want to convert it into varchar. I'm changing its data type over here. And what I can do is typically, we use it more for the purpose that if you have to change the format or the styling of that date that you have, right? So if you will see by default, so when I'll use this over here, this is a date. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a typical format on this. Suppose I use the format 101. So this is something I'll just tell you. Orders. You see now, this was the order date that was given to me in the data. So what I've done is I wanted to represent a date in the different format. So now if you see that this is the given the format in which the data is stored, but I want to print the output in a different format. So I have just changed the format of this column over here. So we use the convert for changing the format of the dates as well, right? So if you see over here, now it has come into different format. So there is a coding. There are some the codes that we have to use in order to convert the date into a different format style. Suppose if you use I've used 101. If instead of that if I use 102, so what will now happen over here is see the date size change. So now I get 2014 dot month dot year, right? Similarly, if you want some different style, so there is the code number that is 111. If you use this as the code, so you see the date format now changes. You have the year slash month slash day, right? So this way, what we can do is we can convert the data into the different styles if you want. So we use this the function of we use this function for the purpose of changing the formatting of the date as well. You have 109. So you get this month and the complete day, May 30, 2040.
So we
Okay.
need to convert this date into varchar, then only we can apply this format 109.
You have to convert into varchar.
Okay, this is the mistake I was doing. I didn't convert this. I was just giving convert of date. I didn't get. Okay, got it.
Okay. So Divya, what's your question? Sorry, I just didn't get. I just saw your question over here.
Amit, can you tell the difference between cast and convert?
See, cast is just for the conversion of the data type. You can't apply the formats on the date. So wherein this convert function gives you the functionality to just change the format of the date also. So you can apply different formats
Okay.
as well with the help of the convert function, but the cast will not allow you to do that. It will just simply convert it into that data type.
Data type means which we are mentioning as cast.
Huh. So you say that select cast, a particular column into varchar, so we just convert it into that different data type that you have.
Okay.
Whereas the formatting option of the format functionality is an added advantage that you will get with the convert function.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then you have this format function, right? So format function is just like a text function, right? So format function, as the name itself tells, if you have some numbers with you and you want to apply some formats on it, right? So whatever format you want to apply on it, you can just change that. You have to just write that format. Suppose I say I write select and format. I have some number with me, right? Suppose I say 976. So what I do is I am saying that this number that I have. So one thing that you have to remember is that format is something that will convert the value into the character format. Okay, so it converts that data into character format automatically. But then what we do is we just mention the format. Suppose for the output perspective, you wanted to write the number like this, hash hash hyphen hash hash, right? Hyphen hash hash over here. So we say now, uh, right? So the number, if you see, it gets broken up into that format, whatever type that you have written. So you want to show this number like this, 987-964-333. So it is going to convert that into the specified for the format that you would have written over here. Okay. You want to apply the same thing on the dates also. So you can say select, suppose I say format and I use get date, right? So get date is typically going to give you the date in the form of year, month, and day, and the time. It gives you all those things. But suppose you want to extract the date in this format, you say dd, right? You write mm, yy. So now if you run this, let me also print get date also. Okay, this is the default format in which get date is going to print the output for you. But you wanted to see the output in the format where first you should have the date, then the month, and then the year. So the output comes in that format over here. MM. Okay. So you can specify any different format that you want. So you want the year in full, you can write 4 times Y. So if you execute this, so it gives you complete year over here. You want this over convert function, you want to have the date in this format by So what I'll do is let me just share that list with you. You will actually find the convert function. There is a list, right? I mean, there are like 10, 20 different functions that you have. So let me just show you that. So just give me a second. Yeah, so this is, you can go on to the, I'll share this link. This is the Microsoft link. This is where you will find all the different date formats that you have, right? You want to have the date in this format, so you write 101. You want the date in this format, you write 102, 103. So you have all these formats that are written over here, these numbering. So this is what you have to use. So these are the different ways in which you will be able to convert it. Okay. So I can share this link over with you over chat. Okay. And then we were talking about, so I hope any other question on this, I think you would like to ask. Hello? Shall I move forward?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, yeah, so the database, right? So how many of you were able to create that, the questions that I gave you? Let me open that as well. Right, so basically the thing was that the column description was given over here, that what you have to do, the logistics company and the different type of tables and everything that they do. And in, in the scope of that entire data, what you have to do was you have to come up with some analysis where what you can do on that database. So on the different tables that you had, right? So you have to first create these tables, wherein you will have first as an employee details table, and what you do is you define what columns you will be having, what is the data type that you have to define, and likewise. So same way you have to create all the tables and you have to load the data into them. And the files that I have shared with you, they are, I guess, in the CSV file format, not in the.
Can I ask a small question in this table?
Yes, please.
In that shipment status table and shipment details table, the shipment ID is primary key, but in shipment status, but we use the same shipment ID, right, for shipment status?
No, sorry, can you come again? So you are saying shipment details table and which
Yeah,
one?
the fifth table, yeah.
Fifth table, yes.
This is shipment ID is primary key here.
Hmm.
The next table, like shipment status table, here they are using, I mean, some other ID, but the IDs should be same, right? The same shipment ID we need to use in shipment status table, right?
This table contains delivery status, shipment ID, and over here. So, I mean, if you see over here, both are shipment ID only. So they both are shipment, the IDs only, just the name is different over here. So over here it is SDID and over here it is SHID.
But this should be foreign key from that table, right? From the shipment details table.
Yeah, shipment ID, primary key over here. Actually that column would be, you will see that it would be used somewhere else, in one of
Yeah.
the other tables. It's being used some other table. So if you see shipment, this is SHID. So it is being used over here as a foreign key over here. And go down. So it's being used as a foreign key over here. So that this over here, this ID in this, it is being used as a foreign key in this next table. That is why it is being read as a primary key in the previous table. Employee manages shipment details. So this is where we are using it as a foreign key. So that is why it has been kept as a primary key in this.
But yeah, but this should be from table from the shipment state details table. So
Okay, you are referring. Let me just do one thing. Let's just open the data also, just for that better understanding. So we have shipment details, and in this we have the shipment IDs as this SHID, and then if I come over there, we have the status. Mm, We have 200 IDs in this. Yeah, so typically we can actually use it as a foreign key over there as well. So because it's the same shipment ID that we have, so we have all the shipment ID details in this. So
yeah.
same. So you can use it as a foreign key over there also. Correct. So you can use it in that.
So okay, then in other tables I can use this foreign key, and again in other tables I can use the second time also as foreign key.
Yeah, the payment details table
Foreign.
is also referring this SHID. So SHID will be the foreign key for the payment details.
And that's already a foreign key over here.
Yeah.
That is already a foreign key. The question is that this column that we are using SDID, so this we can actually use it as a foreign key reference. So technically, yes, in the status table also, what you can do is you can refer this as a foreign key column, which is referencing to shipment detail. That can be done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what while figuring out that I got this down. Thank you. Yeah.
So because it's the same column and shipment details, we can keep that as a main table, and we can use it as a foreign key over here as well. Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, anyway, what you can do is you can just upload your queries also that you would have written on the classroom, so that in case I'll just go through them in case I have some suggestions or something to share, I'll do that. Right. So you can just upload all the queries that you would have written on the Google Classroom. Okay. So let's start now again, right? Let's move forward now. So today, what we are going to do is we're going to start off with the topic that is, so previous, I was planning to start on with the Tableau as a tool, but I was just having a discussion with the Pawan also, and over here, so we will be starting off with Power BI now. Okay, because Power BI is actually a kind of a tool which is in a lot of demand, so we thought that we should start with that first, and then after the Power BI, we will start off with the tool that is Tableau. And they both are similar in terms of the how we use it and how they work. So you will find a lot of similarities between the two tools. So has anyone used Power BI over here in the past?
Yeah, I have used.
Okay. So I'll just start with the basics over here. See, now we are going to start off with Power BI. So Power BI is basically a tool which is a tool from Microsoft. Okay, and it is one of the most widely used tools in today's market, right? You will see a lot of its applications, and most of the companies are now relying on this. So this Power BI tool that we have. And Okay. So now Power BI is a complete data visualization. Right? So visualization is something that we have discussed in the past also. Okay. So now it's visualization is something that we have discussed in the past as well, right? Like why do we need visualizations, what visualizations are, and how do we use them uh, in the different areas in order to get the complete analysis of the data, right? Like we were working on the when we were working in the Excel. So over there also we had created some charts. Now what has happened is this Power BI tool is something which is going to give us more flexibility in terms of creating the visualizations. It is going to give us more flexibility in terms of doing the calculations. And on top of that, it will also help us in overcoming the challenges that Excel has. Right. So in Excel, we cannot have interactive charts, you cannot have interactive dashboards. And also if you have to make some interesting reports, it will take a lot of time for you to do it in the Excel because you will have to write some VBA codes and all that stuff in order to make that report. But all those things get really sorted when we work with the Power BI over here. Right. So now I won't be spending the time on like why visualizations because this is something that we all are already aware of. Right? Like why do we need visualizations and what is a visualization? It is same thing, right? Basically representing your data into the form of a picture or a graph. So that is what data visualization is all about. And how do we achieve the visualizations? See, what happens in every business, the data will be generated. Like, for example, we have already seen that how the generation of the data happens. So basically, the any business that you do, so whatever data that will be generated. So what we do is we keep storing that data either into the Excel or we keep storing that data into the databases that we have, right? The SQL Server or MySQL or Oracle, wherever you want. Now, typically, that data that you would have stored, that data is then used for the purpose of analysis, right? What we do is we fetch that data and we start analyzing that data over there into the form of we start as a starting point as a visualization, right? So what we do is we integrate, we analyze, and we represent that into the form of the visualizations over here. So like you will extract the data from Excel or you will extract the data from a SQL Server, and you will start analyzing it. So Power BI is basically called as a BI tool. So can anyone define what is a BI? What do we, how do we define BI? Yep. So what is the definition of business intelligence class?
Can I say like entire process from raw data using some tools process the data?
See, BI, the definition of BI is like it's basically integrating all the data that you are generating and using that data for the analysis, which can help you in making and which can help you in decision making. Right, that is what the whole idea of business intelligence tool is. And right, Divya, basically we also use this something for reporting. So what we do is ultimately we create the reports based on that data. And when we talk of reports, right, in that reports we only talk about historical data analysis. We do not do any predictions in that. Right, so we try to just tell what had happened in the past. That is something that we represent in those reports with the help of the BI tools. Okay, so there are a lot of BI tools in the market, right? If you will see ClickView, ClickSense, Domo, Spotfire, Power BI, Tableau, there are a lot of tools that are available in the market which can be used for the same purpose. But the most widely used tools that you will find in the industry are Tableau and the Power BI, right? These are the two tools that you will find most widely being used into the industry. Okay, and all these tools that you see over here, they are all drag and drop. There is no coding that is required anywhere. So everywhere it's just drag and drop interface that they have provided, like just like the pivot tables that we use in Excel. Same way we have this, the Power BI tool as well, Power BI and the Tableau, which we are going to know. Now, as discussed, Power BI, it's a BI tool, a tool that will help you in doing the historical data analysis. And with the help of this tool, what we are going to do is we are going to create reports and dashboards, which can be easy, which we will be able to create very easily. So there are, it will also, the Power BI is a tool which will also be used for data cleansing and data modeling. So data modeling something, that primary key foreign key relationships that we have. So similar kind of a stuff that is called as data modeling. So all those things will also be possible with the help of the Power BI tool. Plus we will be able to visualize the data very easily. Now, Power BI, being since it's a product of Microsoft, it's definitely very popular in the market because every company uses Microsoft suite everywhere, right? Like Excel, Word, Outlook, Access. Now, all these things are used any which ways a lot. And Power BI is just a added tool in that, which also comes at a very cheap price. It's just like $9.99 per month as a cost to the company, right? So it's just like $10 that they have to pay, which is like peanuts for the company to pay for. So due to its cost, also, this tool has become very, very uh, popular, and it has become it has been used very widely into the industry. Because if you will compare it with other tools, right, like Tableau and all, they are far more expensive as compared to Power BI that we have. Okay, and as for the Gartner data analysis, now this is among the Microsoft Power BI is among the market leaders because they do the analysis and they come up with their thoughts that which tool lies in which quadrant. So Gartner does this, yearly analysis. So which tool is a visionary, niche player, challengers or leaders. So Microsoft Power BI is a tool which comes into the section of the leaders, right, which has the highest level of highest abilities of execution and highest ability of vision. So this is among the as per the Gartner analysis. So now this over here, this slide is little important to understand, which will tell us about the entire architecture of how the Power BI works. So in order to use Power BI, right, what we do is we need Power BI desktop. So this is the main application that we need, something that we have to install on our systems. And this is a free of cost application, right? Power BI desktop is a free of cost application. You don't have to pay a single penny for this, and any organization can use this. So what we do is we use this application to develop the reports, right? The report development will happen on this. And this tool Power BI desktop, it comes with the capability that it can be connected to the different data sources that are available in the market very easily, right? You can easily connect this tool to SQL Server, Hadoop, Salesforce, Excel, PDF, Snowflake. You name the database, you will be able to connect your Power BI to that. Once you connect your Power BI tool with that data source, the data gets loaded in this. And then what you do is you start cleansing of the data, modeling of the data, and preparation of your report. So all the things are going to happen in this tool Power BI desktop. Once that report is ready, right? Once your report has been created, then what we do is we have to publish that report onto the server, and that is Power BI service, right? So this is a server that we use, which is a cloud-based platform provided by the Microsoft, which is Power BI service. Okay. Now Power BI service, this is where you have to pay the money. You have to buy the license of this, which comes at a cost of $10 per month. Okay, and they will provide you 10 GB of a space where you will be able to publish the reports, where you will be able to collaborate with the others. Basically, see, the end goal is that the report that you will create, that report has to be used, or that report has to be consumed with the other developer, with the other people, right? The stakeholders who will be actually taking a look, who will be actually looking on those reports and doing some decision making on it. So all those things are available on the Power BI service. You share that report with the people. And on the Power BI service, there are a lot more capabilities, right? You can apply security levels, right? You can apply securities that say, for example, the person A should only be able to see the data of South region. Person B should only be able to see the data of North region. So you can apply those securities. You can set up the data gateways. Data gateways are so because see, data is something that keeps on updating on a daily basis. Every day there will be new data that will be generated, and definitely you would want that your reports should get updated with that latest data that comes in your files. So you can set up a automatic functionality that, suppose you say that at every day at 5 p.m. my reports should get updated. So you will be able to set up that functionality without any manual intervention. What Power BI will do is it will hit your system and it will update the data into the reports. So whatever new data you would have got in your databases, it will automatically update it. Okay, and in case the refresh fails, it will also send you an email that, okay, you know, that due to certain reasons the refresh was not possible, so then you will have to go and manually refresh that data. So now once the reports are published over here, then what we do is we need the people can access those reports either through their mobile, or they can through their laptop or desktop, they can easily access those reports over here. Okay, so you can install an application of Power BI on your mobile phone. You just need your the login details of Power BI service, and you will be able to see that report on the go. Okay, is it making sense? The components and the architecture. So basically, there are two things. One is Power BI Desktop, the main application that you have to install, and then Power BI Service. This is the cloud-based platform where you publish the reports. Now, in order to create an account on the Power BI Service, you cannot create Power BI Service account with Gmail or Yahoo IDs. You need a company domain ID with which you can create. With that only you can create your Power BI Service account, and you also get a 2 months of free trial of using this Power BI service if you want. So you get 2 months of trial free over here on this. Okay. So what we'll do now is, so first of all, let me guide you that how you can all install the Power BI desktop. Okay. So for installing the Power BI desktop, what you all need to do is just come. I'll just share this link. Yep. So if you all will come onto this link, you will be able to download this Power BI desktop. So just click on download, and I think most of you will be using 64-bit machine only, so you can download this first setup file. I hope you are able to access this link. So once you download this file, just install this setup file. And I guess I just you also had to all you were asking me how to load the data in that table, right? This was also something you asked me, right, on the SQL Server. Shall I show you that as well?
Yeah, please.
Sorry, I just show you a quick demonstration, right? So what you do is, suppose you have some table already with you. So right, suppose this the includes, right? So suppose I already have a table in which you want to load the data. So what you do is you just simply click on tasks and you click on import data over here. So you select, like, you have to pull the data from Excel, and in case you are pulling the data from CSV file, you have to use this flat file source, right? You click on flat file. So if suppose I have to load the data from Excel, you click on Excel. You browse the file path, and what you can do is you can just where is the file? Now you pick that file. You have to load the data into the SQL Server client. Copy data, right? So you just click on next. So what you do over here is that the orders data that you have, this table you select it. So you just select that table in which table you want to load that data, right? You would have already created that table. Suppose you want to load the data in the orders table. So you click over here from the drop down and you select that table over here, right? Now, if you click on simply next, next, finish, the data will be loaded in that table, the table that you have already created. Okay. So that is how you load the data. So basically, if you feel your column headers are different, right? Suppose you say that in table you have column A, column B, and column C, and in the C Excel file you have column C, column B, and column A. So nothing to worry. You can just go into the edit mappings, and from here, what you can do is you can change that. In the source column A, you specify which is the column A. You can change that mapping over there, right? So from here, you can do that changing in the mapping which column should go in which column. So from there, you will be able to do it. Okay.
Here only it's not showing other columns names. It's just showing the same ignore and that column ID.
I'm sorry.
It's not showing other columns in that drop down.
In the destination.
Yeah.
Because right now the column names are matching over here, so that's picked up in this. So what you
Yeah,
will
that's
do
what my
is,
question. Even though it's not matching the column IDs, it's not showing other column names. It's just showing the whatever is available and just ignore those two only. It's showing.
so let me do one thing. Let me just create one table, right? That table that we have loaded, or maybe if you can share your screen, I can just quickly help you on that.
Yeah.
So will you share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me a second. You're able to see, right?
I can see only a SQL Server can do that.
Yeah, I'm. Oh, you are able. You are not able to see what I'm doing.
No.
Oh, I'm just importing that.
That I'm not able to see.
Are you able to see now my actions? Import data, these things?
Yes.
Okay. Here, if I click on edit mappings.
Again, I can't see that.
Oh,
Screen is somewhat froze.
If you take control also, it's are you able not able to see?
I can just again just see that query window where the queries are written.
You are able to see now? Hello?
I think you're not sharing the entire screen. That is why it's not visible. So the pop-up windows that are coming, so they're not visible.
I think my Zoom got stuck. I mean, it's frozen.
No, so what I'll do is, let me do one thing. I'll just create the tables. Maybe in tomorrow's session, I'll show you that, right? So I'll create the tables. So then I'll show you that how we load the data into it. Okay, so right now what I'll do is, so we can just download the Power BI setup so that we can set up the things. So I'll just do a quick walkthrough of that, and so that we're in shape to get started with the Power BI as well. Okay, so I'll just do that. I'll make the tables at my end.
Are you able to see?
I've just taken the screen. I just took a screen. No worries. So Lakshmi, I'll just give you in the last. Let's do that. In the last, let's keep that up, right? So everyone, were you all able to download this Power BI? Are you able to install it? Okay, Deepa, you're done. Divya, others, Vijay, Harsha.
I'm doing.
Lakshmi.
I didn't
Okay.
finish.
Yashaswini. Okay, so in the meantime, like for the people who are still installing it, it gets installed in the background. I'll just start with the very basic functionalities just to give you a quick overview or a walk around of this tool. See, when you will first launch this tool on your system, right? So you will all get this pop-up window over here, right? You will get this pop-up window on this. So you don't have to do sign in and anything over here. Just close this, right? Just close this window from here. Now this is how the interface of Power BI looks like. So if you take a first look at this, right? When you take a first look on the Power BI, do you feel that you will realize something that the top ribbon that you have is quite similar to what you have in the Excel, SQL Server, or any other tool of the Microsoft. You will find a lot of similarities over here, right? Like you have the Home tab, Insert tab, Modeling tabs over there, right? Like in Excel, if you go in the Excel also, you have the similar type of tabs: Home, Insert, Page Layout, and everything. And similarly, when you go into the SQL Server also, you find those kind of tabs over here as well. Like definitely the tabs are different and the options will be different depending upon the tool. But the idea is, like what Microsoft does is they try to keep a similar kind of. They try to.
It's okay.
Hello.
I won't look into that. Go on.
Was someone saying something? Okay. See, what happens is basically what Microsoft does is they keep the similar interface in all their products, and you will find that similarity over here as well. So you have the Home tab, in where you will find some options related to the extraction of the data, like from which data source do you want to pull the data, and then you start making some, and you start analyzing the data. You will find some options to relate to that, which we will be looking at it. Similarly, you will have Insert tab, Modeling tab, View tab, and in every of this tab, you're going to find different functions. And if you come over here, this is the main action area, right? In the white area that you see over here, this is where what we do is we create the visualizations. This is where we create the charts. So it's just like you have sheets in the Excel, right? Like you have the sheets in the Excel. In the Power BI, we call that as the pages. So like this is page 1, page 2, page 3. You can add as many pages as you want inside this file, right? You don't want a page, you can just delete that as well. So just like in Excel, you add worksheets. In the Power BI, we call that as pages over here. Okay. On the right hand side, if you will come right on the right hand side, if you will come on the right hand side of this Power BI interface, there are two things that you will see. One is visualizations. These are the different type. These are the visualizations are the different charts that you can create in the Power BI. Then you will find a section of fields, right? Fields is basically, this is where you will see the column headers of the data that you have loaded, right? Like in Pivot, we used to get the column field. So you will see all those data fields over here once we load the data inside this. So right now there is no data inside, so it is right now blank or empty, I would say. But the moment I will load the data inside it, you will see all that data fields, everything will be visible over here. Okay. So let's do one thing. First of all, let's get some data inside it and let's try to see how the fields and the other things are going to look like. So for that purpose, what we will do is I guess you all have that sample superstore data with you, right? The sample superstore data. So we will use that sample superstore Excel file only for now to get started, because you all are already aware of the data that we have, and you are already aware of that different fields and data analysis. A lot of stuff we have done in the SQL and Excel also. So we'll start with that only. So what you do is, suppose if your data is in Excel file, so you will find all the connectors in the Power BI pre-installed. So like you see, you have this option of get data. If you will click on get data, so what you will find over here is you will find the list of all the data sources to which you can connect your Power BI, right? If you click on more, so over here now what you will see over here is you will see that you can connect your Power BI to SQL Server, Oracle, Netezza, MySQL, Snowflake. So all the connectors are pre-installed over here. You just have to select your the data source, and you will be able to load your data right away, right? Like in our case, since I would like to now right now upload the data from an Excel file, so I'll click on Excel and I'll click on connect. Now it is asking where that file is, so I'll go and pick up that sample superstore file. So what Power BI does is it creates a connection with that file, and it will start showing you all the sheets that you have in that Excel. Right now in that Excel file, we have these different sheets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So you click on orders, you will get a preview that what kind of data do you have in it. And if you check this and you click on load, the data will be loaded in the Power BI. Okay. So if I click on load now, the data will be loaded. So you can all please try this out to load the data in the Power BI. Yep. Are you able to load the data? Okay. Others? So Harsha, you have done it. Divya, Deepa, and Lakshmi. See, the moment you load this data over here, you will see all the data fields that you had in that file. They will be visible on the right hand side, right? You can see all the column names coming over here, right? The same category, city, country, all that headers that you had, they are visible. And if you come on the left hand side now of this Power BI, right? If you will come on the left hand side, this is where you will see some more options over here, right? So first option that you see is that is the report view. Report view is basically where you can see this is where all the charts and graphs that we will be creating, they will be visible, which we are into right now. We are into the report view over here. The second option that you will see over here is that is the data view. In the data view, what you can do is you can actually see the complete data over here. The data that you have loaded from the Excel, you will be able to see that data over here now, right? So your order date, ship date, shipping mode, customer ID, segments, country, city, state, you will be able to see each and the entire data, but you cannot edit over here. You cannot do any transformation. You can just apply the filter if you want, Suppose you want to see the data of a particular subcategory, you can apply the filter, you can see that data, but you can't edit anything right now. It is just a data view over here, nothing more than that. Okay, so you can just view that data from here. And then you will find the third section over here, which is called as your model view, right? This is where the relationships or the data tables that you, if you have multiple tables, this is where you create the relationships between them, right? The kind of the model that you create in the SQL Server. On a similar fashion, you will find that relationships being created between the multiple tables over here. Okay, this is what you find in this, the three tabs, data and the model view. And the first one is your report. Okay, so now what we will do is we will start with our first analysis, right? Suppose you want to create a chart over here. Suppose I want to see how much sale was generated across the different categories. So first of all, what we do in the Power BI is you just select your chart. If I click over here, if I click on this column chart, so you can all please click on this. You select your chart, and what will happen is that empty structure of that chart will come on your screen. The empty structure of the chart will come onto your screen. And when the chart comes up, you will notice that there are these options that will get highlighted at the bottom. Okay, now when this chart is selected only, then you will see these options. If I deselect this chart, if I just click outside it, you see those options are gone. If I click on this, these options will come, right? Access, legend, values. Now these are the options related to this chart now, right? So which chart I am creating? I am creating a column chart. Now in this column chart, you have axis. Axis is the x-axis. What do you want to keep on the axis? Definitely, I want to keep the category. I want to see the different category on the axis. So you drag your field of category over here. You will start seeing those. I mean, you will not see anything right now because we have not pulled any data. But we have now category on the x-axis. Now, for each category, what I want to do is I want to see what was the total sales that was generated. So what we do is you will now notice in this, right, in this fields pane, that against certain columns, right, around certain columns, you will see that there are some summation signs coming. Now, summation sign means that Power BI is reading these columns as numeric, and the rest of the data is being used. The where you don't have a summation sign, that is being read as a categorical data. Okay. And where you see this calendar symbol over here, that means Power BI is reading that field as a date type. Okay, so this is being read as the okay. So what we do over here is, if I just show you this thing, so what you see is at the bottom, you will see the fields that we have over here, right? So you have access, you have legend, and you have the values over here. So the fields which have a summation sign, that means those fields are numeric. And the fields which do not have any summation sign, that means they are character. And where you see a calendar symbol, right, that is a date field that you have over here. So now what I've done is, when I made this chart over here, I have dragged on the axis, I have dragged category. Then you have a section of values, right? In the values, what you do is you just have to drag up what values do you want to see. So I pick the sales and I put it over here. So you will now see the values are visible on this, right? So you have, in the technology, you had a sale of this much amount. In furniture, you had a sale of this much amount. And in office supplies, you had a sale of this much amount. So you will be able to see the sales over here on this chart. Okay. So right away, you can see the chart is now ready in this. So just two drags and the chart is, created. Are you all able to create this? Okay. Now on this chart, the chart that gets created. Okay. So when you hover on this chart, this box that comes up. This is called as a tooltip, right? This is a tooltip. So category, furniture, and sales value. These are called as tooltips. On this chart, at the top of the chart, you will see there is one option that is coming focus mode. If you click on that, focus mode means it will show you the chart in that entire screen. You will be able to have a complete gist of that chart by just clicking on that, right? So that is focus mode. And when you say back to report, you come back to this report over here. Then what we do is you have the three dots over here, right? When you click on the three dots, what you can do is over here, from the three dots, you can change the sorting of the data if you want. You want to export the data, right? Export data means, suppose you want to pull this data into a CSV file format. So it will export the data for you in the CSV file. If you click on export data, so you will see sales by category, this data will be imported for you. Same way, if you click on these three dots, you want to change the sorting, right? You can change the sorting into ascending or descending if you want. So you can change the sorting. You want to sort the data by category, you can do that. So whatever way you want, you can, whatever fields you have dragged in this chart, you will be able to change the sorting of that. Okay. If you make it descending or ascending, you will be able to do it. So please, and then if you come over here on this chart, you have an option of formatting. So now Power BI will provide you and it will give you like variety of options to format the chart. So when the chart is selected, if you click on this format button, so from this format button, what you can do is you can change the overall formatting of this chart. So like, for example, I'll just show you a basic formatting right now. We will be deep diving into the advanced formatting as well. But right now, since it's starting, I'll just give you a very basic idea on this. Suppose you come in the data colors. So in the data colors, you can change the color of the bars, right? You can click on this. You can change the color of the bars right away. Okay. Same way, if you want to show the data labels, you can turn on the data labels over here and you will see the numbers will be visible on the top of the chart. Okay. Similarly, you want to apply some titles or something, you will be able to do that. Right. So I'll be, I'll just keep the basic, just a starting point for today. Okay. So basically, so what we'll do is we'll deep dive into more. So maybe in tomorrow's session. So this is where, I think we'll take a pause for today. So you can just save this file, click on file and save. Right. So you will be able to save this report. So whichever folder you want to save it. So you can create a folder of Power BI now where you can save this file. So if you go in this, okay. So let's do that. You can save this file. Okay. And tomorrow what we'll do is we'll pick up the same file and we will start exploring the further options on this. Okay. And apart from that, right, so please share the queries also of your SQL assignment so I can take a look at it and I'll share my suggestions on that. Okay.
Can I quickly share my screen now? It's ready, that SQL thing.
Can I do it tomorrow? Because the reason is actually I have to jump into the next session right now.
Okay,
So
okay, sure.
tomorrow morning, definitely first thing we'll do that.
Okay, sure.